You're listening to Four Nations, Four Voices, set up by Amplifying Accessibility and supported by Newport City Radio. We are here at episode 3 of Four Nations, Four Voices, and I have Josh Hicks. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am doing very well. I'm noticing I've got a very shiny forehead from the Welsh heat.
I've got this I've got this computer and I still got the plastic on, so all I'm seeing is just the reflection behind me, and I'm also seeing you. It's very confusing.
You've got the shades as well. It's very cool, very hip.
I had this operation recently, so I've started wearing the glasses, but then people started saying I should just make it a thing. So now I've just ended up making it a thing. I wear them everywhere, even in my private life. I'm just literally out in the open wearing sunglasses. Luckily the weather's nice, so I have a reason to, but in the winter it's going to look real odd.
I think it's very pop star. I mean, I've met artists who sometimes they use glasses sort of like as an access support. So like, oh, I'm really nervous to perform on stage, and so they put glasses on to be like, I'm in the zone kind of feeling.
I was at this event recently and someone literally was wearing glasses, and I was like, God, you're so good at taking photos. You seem so natural. And they went, oh, I'm just hiding behind the glasses. And I was like, I've got glasses on. What's my excuse?
I know you, but for the sake of people listening or watching or reading along, where are you from?
So I'm from Newport, South Wales.
Yeah.
I was born in Newport. I was raised a little bit in Chepstow, because I went to a Catholic primary school, actually, funny enough, even though I'm not Catholic. Then I went over the border to secondary school in Sudbury sort of area, and now I live in Newport.
I bet there was loads of hymns to get involved with in school as well.
There was, not that I remember much of them. I think The Whole World in His Hand, I remember. He's got the whole world in his hands. I remember that one. Rejoice, I think there was another one called Rejoice. I remember that.
And where would you say that your music sort of love came from? If it wasn't the hymns in
I was
school.
going to say it wasn't the hymns, no. My mum really listened to a lot of pop, so like Michael Jackson, Kylie Minogue, Whitney Houston. And my dad listened to a lot of Queen, and the Beatles and all that. So I just kind of grew up surrounded so much by music. I guess maybe that's where it started.
Do you have quite a musical family?
They love music, yes, but in terms of actually pursuing music, I'm the only one.
So you're just changing the way, and you're doing it by storm as well. Like, where have you not been, Josh? Have you not won or not been aired on? You are everywhere.
Oh, I'm glad it seems like that, because sometimes you feel busy, but then you're like, am I busy? And then so I'm glad it comes across like that. It's doing good, really good. As at Spotify headquarters recently, I got invited up through youth music, and that was so surreal.
What were you doing at Spotify?
They literally took you around the building. You went to the podcast room where Louis Theroux does his podcast, which was sick. They took you to this new listening room they just made, and it's like literally dark, dim lighting, bean bags, and then this like little tiny stage which only is full of just big speakers. And they said Sam Smith came in here last week, and he was obviously listening to new music and that he's been working on. And people just come in and they just listen to their new music that they've just worked on and just sit there and chill. And what's really cool is they did a listening room as well, and I got to play a new song that I've been just working on, and they played it in that room, and it was just so cool.
So that was all through youth music. They originally supported you through Next Gen as well, the Next Gen Fund?
They did, yeah, they did. And they've been really super helpful, I have to say. As an organisation, they really have. I mean, got funding recently, and it's been great, but you kind of just don't know who to contact with. But with youth music, they've been very on the ball with things, and I have to say they've been very, very helpful.
Have you ever been to the awards?
I have. I went with, there's an artist called, who you'd know, called Renna. I don't know if she was nominated or she just had a ticket and she had a spare one. So I went up with her 2 years ago in London, and it was great. It was a great experience.
You've got on your Instagram, it says, I write what feels magical.
Yeah.
Firstly, like, oh, such a smooth line. What does it mean?
I'm glad you caught that, because I never know if people actually read those. So I'm glad you did. As a kid, one of my favorite artists growing up was Michael Jackson. And I always found his music just made me feel like the impossible could be possible. And it just felt like magical. And that's something I don't know if I'm doing now, but like definitely something I want to work towards, where my music inspires and makes people feel like magic. And I think coming into the music industry, you kind of realize, oh, this how this works and this how this works, and you kind of lose that magic a little bit. And I'm trying to reconnect with that, I think.
Where do you get your creative inspiration from? You said sometimes when you sort of the veil is lifted, it can be, a little bit disheartening. How do you keep that creative energy?
I'm very an introspective person, I feel, and I love being out chatting to people and being busy and stuff like that. But I equally like my own space and sitting with myself and sitting with my thoughts. And I think that's something that really helps me stay grounded in myself and knowing what I like and what I don't like. I'm quite an energy-led person, I would say. So I would probably go with however I feel intuitively.
And it comes across like I was listening to Eyes on You. It sounds like almost like a bit of like a self mantra.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So when I started writing that song, I was doing it in the studio with a new producer who I'd never met before.
Mm.
And I always find that so daunting to write about something so personal with someone that I don't know. So I found a loophole around that. In my perspective, it was writing for my cousin and my sister. So my cousin just done really well in football, and my sister just got a job as a nurse and graduated from uni. And I was feeling really proud of them. And I just thought that could be a way of writing about something that isn't so personal to me at this moment in time. But the good thing is about it, it can be personal to me as well. So that's what I like about that song.
It's terrifying, isn't it, to sit in a room with a random that you meet for the
Yeah.
first time and then going, one, I've got to show my skill, but also I've got to like open my heart up and write
It's
something. Oh,
yeah, I remember like I did a song, I think it might have been Talk Too Much actually, and that was about me. I had an argument with a friend the night before and they just inspired that. I remember just sat in the studio, I was like shaking a little bit because I was like, this is so nerve-wracking for me having to be honest about something that I'd rather just keep private. But I'm glad I did it, and it helped make things easier for me in some sense. Like some new songs I'm working on now at the moment, and they're even more probably personal, but I enjoy singing them, and I think that's what's really cool about getting it out the way.
is there a reason you tend to go for those personal topics? Because you could write about anything, right?
I have to write about what I experience, otherwise I find it really hard to get the words out if I can't write about what I've experienced. Because I said I'm quite introspective, I have to write about those sort of things, and like the new ones I have been doing are like that. It's like almost a therapy in some sense. Like I don't have to pay, I don't know, £75 for a therapist. I can just sit with my own thoughts and write down what I'm feeling and stuff like that. And sometimes it's really about, because people used to say, oh, write down notes about how you're feeling, but I was never like that. I find it almost easier to press record on my phone and talk it through. And sometimes it's just about catching myself in moments, like a song I'm working on at the moment called No Friend of Mine. And I remember just catching myself going, oh, no friend of mine treats me like that. And I was just like, oh, no friend of mine. I was like, I really like that. And I was like, that could be a cool title for a song. And then now I'm writing a song based around that. I've actually finished it and I'm going to try and sing it at a gig on the weekend. So yeah.
And it makes your music relatable, right? Because you're putting the music out there and the words out there that people are going, oh, I also can't put the words to this situation, but you've
Yeah.
done it for me.
You know what? I had my first experience with that because I like artists like Adele and all this. And growing up listening to Adele, I loved her music and I was really appreciated it. But I never went through those experiences to able to understand it. But recently I did, and there's an artist called Olivia Dean, and I was really connecting to her music, and I was thinking, oh wow, this is really like helpful, because I was like, I actually feel like someone else is going through what I've been through and they've come out the other side, and it makes you feel great, I can actually do this. And that's why I've been writing about it myself as well, because I think if she helped me, maybe I could help someone else.
Olivia's stuff, it gives you a lot of feelings, but it's not overly complicated.
No, it's
It's quite
not.
accessible.
Yes, and that's what I love. It's funny because that's what I think about her music. It's not that complicated. It's not like she's worded stuff in such a metaphorical way that you have to really sit and pick at it. She's almost like really been really simple with the lyrics in some sense, so you understand and connect to it more, which I think is really quite clever, actually.
Shout out Olivia Dean. We need a
Yeah,
Josh and Olivia collab,
yeah, that'd be
definitely.
brilliant. Yeah,
I'm sure
that'd be
she's
so cool.
watching. I'm sure
Yeah, sure, she definitely is.
yeah. Josh, you've had a lot of support from, I've got a list here of Like, of course, BBC Radio Wales has been loving you and BBC
Yes.
Introducing. You've been A-listed, Welsh A-listed, but also, oh my gosh, BBC Radio 2 with Trevor Nelson. Tell me
Oh,
about this.
that was just insane. I remember when I got the phone call, I was at the gym in the cafe just getting stuff ready, doing some bits for pre-release and stuff like that, and checking PRS and all this. And I got the phone call and I was like, I'm gonna take this outside. I took it outside and they told me, I was like, you're lying. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is so exciting. Rang my parents. They were so excited. It was crazy. I think the one that came first was with DJ Spoonie, and then Trevor Nelson followed then. And then recently on Talk Too Much, we had OJ Borg, who really liked it as well.
What a mind-blowing moment. I mean, how does it feel sort of reflecting maybe a couple years ago where you were in your music journey? How much has changed?
When you look back in comparison, you think, oh wow, yeah, loads have changed. But I personally don't feel like I've changed myself. I don't think I've changed any. I don't change the way I write, nothing like this. So I kind of just feel the same. But I don't know why I'd expect to feel like. So I did probably at the time feel very uplifted and stuff like that. But you sit with it long enough and you think, okay, what's the next goal I can try and achieve and work with? Definitely was very exciting, I have to say. I was on cloud nine for weeks, I think, after that.
Also had PPL Momentum Accelerator.
Yes,
Oh my
that
God.
was really exciting when I got that, because I went through this stage where I was kind of getting really disappointed because I was like, I'm not getting any funding. I think I went up to Focus Wales and I was just chatting to everyone. I was like, I've not got any funding at the moment. It's so disappointing. I've tried, I'm applying, just not getting anywhere. And then literally got a phone call, Youth Music, and I was like, brilliant. Not so long afterwards, the PPL Momentum funding, I was like, wow. Was really not expecting that, being honest. I just kind of thought, oh, you've got to be in it to win it, so might as well apply. And the Birthplace one as well followed suit, and I just thought, God, it's all come at once, which is brilliant, can't complain.
I really like that sentence that you said that you've got to be in it to win it because it's so true, right? Even if you don't think you're applicable, why not apply anyway?
Yeah, that's it. I've applied for things before and they've come back saying you don't meet the age range. And I'm thinking, oh, I should have probably checked that before I applied. But you just don't know unless you try. I just get excited and I think, oh, I'll apply for that. That sounds great. And I just miss the small print or whatever it is. But yeah.
Is there anything that you're aiming for right now that you're like, I really want this thing next in my career? That's where I'm going for.
Radio 1 would be really cool. So this new song I'm working
Yeah,
on,
it
or
would be, wouldn't it?
that would
Very
be
cool.
amazing. I'm working on this new song and I've kind of tailored it to be a little bit more on the poppy side. I don't like the idea of tailoring our music to radio, but at the same time, I was just like, it would be cool to add more of a poppy element to the music I'm working on. I'm working on towards my own headline show. I really want to do just towards the end of the year, but it's just one of those things. It's so many moving plates and it's just trying to focus on one thing at a time a little bit. And I'm also writing an album, but I don't know when I'm going to release it. I don't know if it's going to be released. It could be not for another 10 years, but I'm just really enjoying the therapy of writing it.
Oh, where was this album born from? What was the inspiration?
It was a very complicated relationship, but it wasn't a relationship. It was very complicated, but we don't speak anymore, so which is very sad, but these things happen. But the concept I have is kind of like love on trial, so it's kind of going to be like a court case concept. I've got one at the moment called In His Defense, then the one No Friend of Mine. I Hope You Win the Case I Hope You Win is what I'm going to call it, but Hope You Win the Case is the title for the chorus. And I'm really enjoying writing. It's very therapeutic. In his defense, I hated writing. It meant disregarding my reality of how I experienced something and putting myself in their shoes, which wasn't fun. But I love the song and it's great to sing, but it's just, yeah, a sad song.
You really have given yourself therapy. I feel like
I,
that's what they do, right? They're like, imagine they're in the
yeah,
chair. What would you say?
that's exactly it. And I hope you win. That came about when I was imagine myself in court doing all this work for this court case and realizing, okay, everyone might agree with me. I might win this case potentially, but that doesn't mean the person I'm arguing with is ever going to choose me. That's where that came from. And it's really fun to sit in those worlds and and write songs about it, really. It is therapeutic.
Wow. And I love a concept album. Why did
Mm.
it become a court case sort of
I
album?
remember it was probably sometime last year. I think I remember being in my car. I just dropped a parcel off to be returned. And I was just sat there and I was just like, I think I must have been chatting to this friend. And I was like, God, I feel like I'm on a trial at the moment in a court case. And I was like, it's just so stressful. And then from that, I held on to that for about a year. And now the
Mm.
situation's gone its own way. And I just was like, I just feel like that would be really good starting point for therapy, but also for writing.
I think that's what's so wonderful about releasing music, right? Is that you talk about these personal experiences, but then it's up to the listener to go, "Ooh, what do I think it's about?"
This is it. And that's why I've been trying so cautious with this concept is to not let that rule the music because
Mm.
people like myself sometimes, I don't always listen to a whole album. I might just cherry pick songs. And I don't want someone to just cherry pick a song and think, why are they singing about a court case? And
Yeah.
not have any other understanding about what the song's about. So I'm trying to be really cautious with that.
Tell me about Open Mic UK. So you were the winner?
I was, yeah, that was a very cool experience. Basically, I think my mum signed me up before COVID and I refused to do it because intuitively I felt like I wasn't there yet to do it. I
Mm.
had only started writing music and I just thought I don't want to put myself into a competition where I might only get one chance to do it and I want to be prepared for it. So I spent a year sat with myself writing songs, throwing songs away, not finishing songs, finishing songs. And I ended up having like 4 or 5 that I was really happy with. And then went and applied again. And that time it was during COVID, so it was all online. It wasn't done in person. So that made things more difficult because it meant that once every 2 weeks, I had to sit down, think about how I wanted my video to look, how I wanted it to sound. And my mum got involved and she would help with the backdrop ideas and all of this and all of that. I think my nan even got involved at one
Oh,
point.
wow.
A big family ordeal, but I ended up winning and it was a real surprise. It was a lovely surprise. But I never went into it thinking I was going to win. I went into it thinking there's some really cool judges here that might be able to give me some advice and help with my music that I'm writing at the moment.
What a good mindset to go in with as well, to instead of going, oh, I've got to win, that
Mm.
actually I just want an opportunity for feedback and to connect and learn something new. What a
Yeah,
really good mindset.
yeah, thank you. I didn't really think of it like that, but yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that.
So, how does the sort of process work? Because I've not been involved in Open Mic UK before. You were talking about making backdrops and filming yourself.
Yeah.
How does it work?
So I think it was just more of a case of because it was for COVID, that's how it was done. But I think in previous years, there's like obviously you got the O2, but then they had like a little other stage area in the O2, and I think they did it in there, the finals in there. And I went to go see it the previous year, and it was great. But it was mostly all done in person, and they did the audience vote, and then they did the judges vote. And I think could be wrong. I think I won both of those, which was really great. I think we just sat down, listened to the songs I'd wrote, and then gone, okay, this would be really cool to do this here. Then we would send it off, judges would give feedback, and then the next week or the next 2 weeks, I'd listen to the feedback and try and put that into the next song. One round, someone said, I want almost just your face in the screen, nothing more. And so the next song I did, it was actually quite more of an intimate song anyway, and I literally just zoomed in on my face and just sang there. And they said they loved that I responded to the feedback and put that into my last song.
It sounds like a really creative meets X Factor opportunity.
It was actually, that's a good way of putting it. It really was like that. I think my mum enjoyed it as well, I have to say.
Your mum is also a boss lady.
She is. She really is. She's my biggest supporter, but she is a boss lady. She's actually taken on the role of my mummager, is what we're calling her at the moment. And
Very
she's
Chris Jenner.
yeah, she is. She really is. But she's doing really well, and it kind of just naturally fell into it. How it happened was I was at BBC Introducing event in London, and at the same time the Soon was going on, and I really wanted to be there, but I couldn't be there. But I had the tickets for it. So I said to my mum, I was like, oh, could you go in my place potentially? And just, you don't have to chat to anyone if you don't want to. I said, but just take down notes, or if you want to ask questions, ask. And she did, and she actually did chat to people. And then from that, then people just assumed she was my manager. And then from there now, it's just become a thing.
It's that concept, isn't it, that sometimes it's great to get a family member or mate to promote you because they'll say it better than you will.
Always, literally
Yeah.
always, because I always downplay it as well. Like someone will be like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I'm just like a singer or a songwriter." And they go, "Oh, that's really cool." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's just it." It's weird because I used to be embarrassed to say it when I was younger. I'm not embarrassed to say it anymore, but I just still downplay it. I
Why are
don't know
you
why.
embarrassed?
I don't know why. I think it's because I'd always imagined myself being. I think I wanted to do psychology or something like that. So I would imagine myself doing that, and then saying that I was a singer-songwriter, I was always a little bit nervous, apprehensive to say, because I thought people would be like, "Oh, he doesn't have a real job," or whatever it is. But now I don't look at it like that. It's more business orientated than I realized the music industry at the time.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, to have the confidence also to say, this is what I am. I am an artist. I am a producer. Because besides a degree, there's not much certification of this is your job title
Yeah,
now.
it's almost a title you've given yourself. I always thought there'd be someone who would come up to you and be like, "Great, you're a musician. Here's your badge," and that was it. But it never. But that's what I used to think as a kid. But then, obviously, the real world kicks in, and you think, "Ah, that's not how it goes."
I think good merch idea. We need I
Yes,
am a musician badges now.
that would be brilliant. Oh my God, I would love
Yeah.
that.
When would we give it to people?
Yeah, we'd have to do it at like some networking events or something like that.
Mm.
Just like have them like I'm a musician pin or anything like that. I think that'd be so cool. Anytime you're in work mode, just put the pin back on and that's it.
Yeah, good idea. Right, gonna
Yeah.
trademark that before I say it again.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, we are gonna play a game called
Lovely.
Croeso I Gymru.
Oh,
Welcome to Wales. I've got a feeling you know what's coming next.
I do have a feeling. Yeah.
We are going to be getting you to say the longest train station name in Wales. Have you said it
I,
before? Have you
I
visited?
I haven't. No, I haven't actually. My dad can say it, funny enough. I can't say it.
Mm.
But I spent like maybe 10 minutes before this call trying my hardest to try and say it, but never ever can I do it.
Well,
But
we've had Scotland try, we've had
I did
England
see,
try,
yes, it's
and
I
now,
did see these, and actually their attempts might be better than mine, which I'm always ashamed to say.
yeah,
But yeah.
I did have a nerve. I feel like when we bring it to Wales, suddenly it's as if none of us speak Welsh.
Yeah, I think it's the pressure. Is like it's the pressure gets to you because you think I'm Welsh. I should be able to at least get somewhere close. I can ask to go to the toilet in Welsh, and that's about it, really.
Definitely learn that in school. Yeah.
I did. It was
Yeah.
in primary school.
Are you feeling ready to take on the challenge?
I think I'm. Yeah, I think I'll be all right. I'll give it a go, but
I
I can't
believe
make
in
any
you.
promises. Yeah.
Just remember, you are representing the entirety of Wales.
I know. I am, aren't I? I used to have this little Welsh dragon with me as well. I don't know where he's gone. Oh, here he is.
Oh, let's see
I
him.
got a little Welsh dragon.
Oh, does it have a name?
I haven't actually given it one, but it's even got the little flag on there as well. Very
Oh,
cute. I don't know what I Red. We could just call him Red.
Koch.
Koch.
Ben
Yeah, that's
Koch.
good. I love that.
Right, Josh, I am going to give you a count in. Three, two, one, go.
Llanfair, Porthgwyleth, Goch, Gosilith, Goch.
Oh, you
I
know,
feel like I wasn't there, was I?
no, but you did say it like a song. There was something very rhymy,
Oh, I'll
very,
take that. I'll definitely take that.
very bouncy. And I can say that you have said it the quickest out of all the artists so far.
Oh, that's encouraging. That's encouraging. I'll take that.
You have said it in 8.01 seconds. Well done.
Whoa! Oh, I'm very impressed with
Not
that.
to brag, I did say it in about three
Oh,
last
wow.
second.
Oh, can
But
we hear you say it? I want to hear you say it now.
oh, Great. I don't think we've got time. No, we don't. Okay, I can say it. Okay. Llanfair Pwll Gwyn goll gerech yn drobl llant o silio gogogoch.
Oh, that was brilliant. Well
Thank
done. That was
you.
actually brilliant.
But I feel like I'm cheating because on Newport City Radio, we play this every single week. So I've had
Oh,
constant
cool.
lessons all this year.
That's brilliant, though. You actually killed that.
Thank you. I don't know if you know, do you know King Khan?
I do, yes.
So he said it in about 2.5 seconds.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's very clever.
But he is a rapper, so I feel like
True.
cheating a little bit.
That is, he did cheat a little bit, actually. I feel, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get
It's
the
talent.
adjudicator on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This series is all about representing artists throughout Disability Pride Month. And I'd like to ask you, Josh, what does Disability Pride mean to you?
So I have dyslexia and ADHD, which I found out recently, the ADHD part anyway. I didn't find out I was dyslexic until I was 18, but I'd already had some support in school anyway, so that was quite helpful. But the ADHD was good because I needed it. I needed to know I had it before I went to uni and stuff like that. Oh, sorry, the dyslexia, not the ADHD. But the ADHD I found out maybe about a year ago. And it's been really helpful because, I work part-time in a cafe and I'm so bad at starting jobs and never finishing them. And then next minute I know I turn around and someone else is finishing what I started and then I feel so guilty. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I didn't leave that there for you to do. I'll do it. And they're like, no, it's all right. It'll take me like a second. That's basically how it's been for me.
Do you find that it sort of has an influence on how you approach music at all?
I do. I think I've always just seen ADHD and dyslexia just who as I am. I've never registered it really as a disability, even though it is, because I've just always been this way. But I definitely think the ADHD has a massive influence with the creativity, probably too much so if there ever can be a thing, because I feel like I have so many ideas. It's almost hard to just stay on track with one because I feel like it's almost like a tree effect. You have one idea and then you go, oh, that could be good. And before you know, you branched off and you're trying to get back to where you were originally. Other than that, I would say, yes, it's almost a strength in some sense.
It's such a good point, and one I agree with as someone also with ADHD that found out later in life. I had an artist not long ago. We were doing a songwriting session together, and when we sit together, me and this artist, we can make a song in like half an hour,
Wow, that's
quite
so good.
easily. And I remember them turning to me and going, "Gosh, I would just love to sit in your brain for 5 minutes because it's so creative." And I went, "I don't think you do. I really."
Yeah. I literally would say the same thing. I was like, I actually don't think you would like to live in that for 5 minutes.
But
You come out a different person.
music is that thing though, right? To put it into positive action, to I've got all those creative ideas, like you said, to make this universe, this creative world for people to enjoy and get involved with. Is it something that you talk about through your music journey, being someone who's neurodivergent?
Do you know what? I talk about it openly if it's ever brought up, but I never really bring it up. Not because I don't want to. I'm happy to chat about it, but it's just I just see it as part of me, not as a disability. So I never really see to bring it up. I mean, sometimes I will if I'm working and like I said earlier with the cafe, I'm like, oh God, my ADHD's playing up again or whatever. But other than that, I don't really ever try and bring it up. But again, not because I don't want to. I just see it as part of who I am, really.
It's a very valid point, isn't it? That if it's just the way you see yourself, why does it always need to be talked about, or why does it always need to be at the front center if it
Yeah,
isn't your main thought, your
yeah, it isn't, and but like I have no problem talking about it. And if it's going to help someone, then even more so, I'll talk about it. But it's just it never really enters my mind really to speak about, which I guess is quite a peaceful way to be in some
Mhm.
sense. But maybe it's not that it doesn't enter my mind. It's that there's so much going on in my mind. I don't know where I'm at. So,
It entered and
but
it left, and then another one came
it's
in.
oh yeah, my favorite thing to do. Well, not my favorite thing to do, but my friends will tell me the favorite thing they've ever witnessed me do is I'll be talking and I'll just go, and then I'll come back and be like, oh yes, what were you saying? And they go, I don't know, you just stopped, and I just went, oh sorry, I think I must have been thinking about something else. And they were like, oh, yeah, probably.
Oh, I love that. I love that
Yeah.
because like I'll start a sentence and it'll be like a 5 minute long sentence and then but suddenly I go, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know
Yeah.
where.
Yeah, or like I had one the other day where, and this makes my friends laugh when I do this, because I do this thing where I'll be chatting and I'll go, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. And then they go, oh, that was really annoying, because I remember once I went to someone, oh, did I tell you? And they go, yeah. And I go, oh, it's gone. And they go, no, no, I wanted to know. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I forgot. And then literally a week later, it will pop in my head and I'll message them. I'll say, oh, this is what I was going to say. And they go, what's this about? And I was like, remember last week when I forgot? And they go, how have you just remembered that? I'm like, my brain's just remembered. So I just wanted to tell you.
I tend to work in storybook memory. So if you tell me names, numbers, it's just not gonna stay there. But if
Yeah.
you tell me something, I'll think about the environment at the time and go, "Oh, you said this because a car drove past at that time, and I was thinking about the car was yellow, and then that somehow links to the memory for me."
Yeah, it's really it's quite fascinating in some sense how it works. But I always find I love chatting to people who've got ADHD, because we the conversation will always just drift, and then somehow we'll end up back to where we started and not even realize it's drifted.
Yeah.
And I just love it. You never have a dull conversation.
It's never that, oh, the weather's been nice, or
Yeah,
the
it's never that. It's never small talk, and it's what I love about it.
What would be then your sort of advice or maybe a message that you would like to give to someone that's also neurodiverse who might be watching or listening this right now? Because maybe they're also going through that experience of like seeing people talking about disability and seeing people not really knowing how to approach it themselves.
I would say, for starters, there's nothing wrong with you, because I remember I used to think I was insane. I used to think there was no way this is a normal person's brain. And I used to think, if this is how everyone thinks and their brain is always like this, I was like, how does anyone ever get to sleep? And it used to drive me crazy. So you're not alone. There are people out there that everyone thinks the same way if they've got ADHD or whatever. And the best thing to do for yourself, try and get diagnosed. It's really hard now because everyone's trying to get diagnosed on the NHS. But you don't always need to be diagnosed. If you feel like you are, just try and maybe speak to people that might have it, that you know you've got it. And I mean, I remember I went to uni and someone who had ADHD said to me, oh, how long have you had ADHD? And I went, oh, I haven't been tested. And they were like, you've definitely got it. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, oh, maybe that makes sense. I just only got diagnosed recently, though, and that gave me the peace of mind I needed.
And I
But
love the
yeah.
point about someone picking it out for you before you even had, because I remember having it from probably about 5 different people, including health professionals, going, maybe you should get checked. And I was going, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no
I
way.
Yeah, and it's funny because like people that don't talk about this quite a lot as well with ADHD is it isn't just always the hyperactivity.
Yeah.
It's the maybe the depressive mood swings and stuff like that. And I remember a teacher told my mum that she thought I had depression, and it wasn't. I even convinced myself I did at point, because I was just being so rubbish in myself, and just I didn't have any motivation to get out of bed, or not. Well, I did, but like I didn't want to. I always have to start wiggling my fingers, then my wrist, then my toes, and then roll out of bed. That's the downside, I think, with ADHD is the when the motivation's gone, it's so hard to get motivated, and that's something that people who don't have ADHD really struggle to understand, is that it does affect the motivation part of your brain. And they're all like, oh, I woke up today and I didn't want to go to work. And it was like, yeah, I did want to go to work. I just couldn't make myself.
Mm.
And that's the difference where they don't always understand.
I remember saying this to my personal trainer actually, that
Yeah.
when I ended up getting the right support in place for my ADHD, for what I needed as an individual, my first thing was, I'm so happy I can get out of bed in the morning. Like,
Yes.
because it is
Yeah.
that getting started, getting going from one space, sort of one environment to another, it's difficult. It's
Like,
difficult.
it is difficult, and I don't think it's talked about enough, that part of the ADHD. I think it's always, oh, you're hyperactive, or you never finish a task, or whatever. And there's loads of downsides to it. There's days where I'm completely exhausted and I go to lie in bed and I just can't sleep. I'm
Mm.
just sat there thinking, I'm really tired, but I just can't make myself sleep right now. So I have to almost make myself feel bored in order to feel like sleepy. And that's the only way to get around it. Or I listen to like white noise or whatever it is, and focus on that, and then eventually I wake up in the morning, like. But yeah, and it's loads of different loopholes. You have to treat yourself differently to people who don't have ADHD.
In true ADHD fashion, I have so many questions and discussion points on this, but I am going to have to move us on
Yeah, that's no problem.
because we will be here for hours.
Yeah, it's such a great topic.
I would love to know now what is upcoming for Josh. What should people expect? Where should people check out your stuff? What's happening?
Yes. I've got a new song that I haven't started marketing yet, but it's coming out on the 31st of July, which is a Friday, and I'm very excited by that. It's with the producer I worked with on the last two songs as well. And yeah, and I'm trying to do my own headline gig in Newport, or at least Cardiff, that sort of area. But not until the end of the year. I've got a gig on the weekend at Bristol Harbour Festival on Saturday at 3:15, I think it is. But yeah, if you want to check out my music, it's Josh Hicks Official on everything. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I think it's just Josh Hicks on YouTube, could be wrong. Yeah, and yeah, I hope you enjoy listening to it.
Josh, I expect world domination by next year. Presidency or something of the world.
Oh God, that would be insane. That would be crazy. Yeah. Oh, that would be insane.
What would be your last message to an artist that is watching this right now?
Follow your instincts, I would say. I think that's been the kind of vibe I've been feeling today. Is yeah, follow your instincts. Obviously, if you're starting out, you might have to do the odd gig that you really don't want to do. But once you got that experience and you can have the chance to be more selective, do what feels right to you. And sometimes you might not have an answer as to why you do or do not want to do something. And people are going to sit there, especially if you've got management, they're going to go, why are you not doing that? It's a great opportunity. But yeah, have to just go with your instincts, I would say.
4 Nations, 4 Voices has been set up by Amplifying Accessibility and supported by Newport City Radio. You can watch and listen to the full episode again and again on Amplifying Accessibility's YouTube channel.